I'm Jo Hockley, and I'm from the University of Edinburgh, and I've been involved in development programs like the Steps to Success program or the Gold Standards Framework program. And part of that is to do a reflection after somebody has died. The aim of reflecting formally about somebody who's died is as a way of learning, because as we reflect back, we think, okay, what went well? What didn't go so well? And if we acknowledge what didn't go so well, then actually we can improve that in the future. It's also about increasing communication across the team, and what is really nice today is that we've got somebody from the kitchen and somebody from the laundry, because actually as a team involved in nursing homes or care homes, we're all involved in looking after people. It isn't just the nurses or the carers, or it's everybody, and we work as a team. But sometimes the team does not get told that somebody has died in care homes, and they work quite separately. So this is lovely that you've all come to that. So it's about communication across the team. But we've got 5 little sections that we want to cover. The first one is just to give us a little pen portrait. What was Amy like, and just any little stories, just for about 3 or 4 minutes, just so that we bring Amy into the room, and then we're going to ask about what happened, what led up to her death, and then to say a bit about our feelings. So, how did we feel it go? What went well? What didn't go so well? And what could we have done differently? And what do we want to change in the future? Maybe at this point you think, no, I don't want to change anything, but there may be something that we can learn from looking after Amy. So does anybody just want to say, how long Amy had been here, how old she was, what was wrong with her? Just a little pen portrait about...
She's 92, Amy. She was 92. She came from another home to here, from Manchester to here. Loved it here, she was very settled. She arrived.
How long was she with you?
About
2 years.
Okay,
2-3
years. Might have been.
And highly intelligent.
She was,
highly
intelligent
lady.
She was. It was the mobility that was the problem. It wasn't. She didn't have dementia.
Okay.
She had
heart
failure, and
she'd had spinal surgery and had been sort of paralysed from the waist down. Spinal surgery some years ago.
Okay.
She came with a beautiful head of hair, but had psoriasis.
Okay.
And psoriasis took all her hair, and she had a lovely, she loved having her hair done every single week, blow dried, wash, blow dried.
She loved her crosswords.
Crosswords, really.
Scrabble,
reading,
Scrabble, and she wrote poetry. She wrote amazing poetry.
And did she have special friends in the residents? Make special friends with the residents?
Those that were like-minded.
Yes.
To herself, she had a close group of people that she cared dearly about. One of whom died just before, a few months before Amy. And that affected her quite badly. Yeah.
What led up to her death? How was she sort of a month before she died? She had the problems with the mobility.
She'd had hospital admissions because of a heart failure. She'd also had problems with ulcers to her legs, which we couldn't get them to heal because of a poor circulation.
So she really felt this was home.
Yes, absolutely.
And she wanted to die.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
So that was a bit of a disappointment.
It was,
for you guys.
It was, because we was upset about that, because it was very quick. We really did want to be here.
I think had we known, there was nothing they could have done.
I think we would have tried to persuade.
We'd have wanted it.
But it was so quick, wasn't it?
Was it less than 12 hours?
It was less. Yeah, she went in on the Friday, and it was the Saturday.
Probably
24 hours for going in. That was it.
So it wasn't anticipated.
No.
I think, it's one of those things. I think we all knew it was that she was becoming more frail and she was becoming more well.
She was becoming
we didn't expect.
What gave you that sense of we all knew she was becoming more.
Her cognition was starting to, she wasn't quite as with it, and she knew, and that really frustrated her. The last time she went to hospital and came back, we didn't think she was going to wake up then. She came back from hospital in a terrible state, and we got her sort of better. But after that event, she told us she'd had enough.
Yeah.
And she wrote a letter to her family, telling them that time was close.
So there she was, just before she died that last week, becoming more sleepy, becoming more poorly, her mind going, and then the doctor comes in, the GP comes in, and how did you feel that went?
It was more that there'd been an acute event. That you'd got her up in the morning, hadn't you? And she'd been a normal self to us, and then a few hours later, her lower legs had actually gone almost black.
Right.
So it was something very acute that made us call the doctor. We wouldn't always do that just because somebody was deteriorating.
Yes.
They just thought she needed septic, antibiotics, and that was the reason that she went to hospital.
Okay.
It wasn't for end-of-life care.
No.
It was because they thought the legs were treatable.
Okay, so what went well about that whole? You had a responsive GP, you felt?
Amy's wishes were respected.
Yeah.
She was part of the decision-making process right up until the very end.
But she'd said she wanted to die here.
Yes.
She did, but I was with the doctor when he asked Amy, and he said to her, I really feel that you need to have IV antibiotics for this, because at this moment in time, you're poorly. And she said, whatever you think. And he said, it's your decision, Amy. And she said, I'll respect what you think. And so she did actually say to him, that's okay.
Didn't go so well, if you think back.
That she died in hospital. We didn't get to look after her at the end of her life.
Yeah.
But that was...
But you see, nobody knew really how poorly a person Amy was, because she kept a lot to herself.
She was a very proud,
she was
private
very
lady,
proud and
wasn't she?
private person, and nobody.
And so this idea of having cared for her for 3 years, and then it sort of suddenly happening like this, albeit suddenly going to hospital, thinking that she was going to have her, be able to get some IV antibiotics, and actually, if they hadn't worked, she would have come back here to die. But you never got the opportunity to look after her. You must have felt very...
I was shocked.
You were shocked, yeah.
I was upset as well, because you look after somebody for so long.
Because you're looking after her, aren't you? So.
Yeah. And is it easy to express your emotions here?
Yeah, absolutely. There's always people, we all support each other, we do. And that's what's nice about here, that we do support each other.
I wasn't awfully surprised that we lost Amy. But then I'm a nurse and I'm more clinical than a lot of the other staff, but I felt absolutely wrong that we'd looked after her and we used to spend hours doing the leg dressings and her showers, and and then we didn't get the privilege of looking after her in the last few hours.
Yes.
Form friendships with people as well. You do friendships with.
We wanted to do that for her because she was such a lady. Then we didn't.
And it is an acute death, isn't it? Yes. It wasn't as though she died here suddenly, totally unexpectedly. There was a sense that she hadn't been quite so well with her legs, but this was an acute event.
I called Jan in, because as soon as I took the dressings down, the legs just... I cried, because I couldn't understand from the day before to then. See, I'll get...
Oh, sorry. I'm an emotional person. That's sensitive.
And so often we think then, don't we, that it's our fault if something like that.
That's what I thought. I did. And John said, please, it isn't your fault.
No.
There's something not right, I need to get the doctor in, regardless of what she thinks now, I need to get somebody in. But she did say, agree to have the doctor, even though she decided not to, she did agree to have the doctor in.
I think because she couldn't feel her legs, that's why she never alerted you to, why they suddenly got worse like that so quickly. But that happens. And I think sometimes we think with frail older people, you know, dying is just gentle and dwindling. But actually it's a huge, great shock, isn't it, when you have this sudden acute event.
Yeah.
Somebody goes into hospital and they die,
Yeah.
and you're not able to look after them. What else do you do anything as a home to remember people? Or?
We have a rose garden.
Yeah.
You do?
We
Yeah.
have a
Right.
rose garden,
Yeah.
and there's an option for the families if they want to plant a rose in the memory and have a little name badge to it and everything. It's at the front of the home.
Right.
There's a little pond there as well,
Yeah.
isn't there?
And so the final thing is, what do we need to change as a result of this reflection? Well, I'm not sure from what you've said anything would have been done differently, but
No, it
Or what
wouldn't
you
have
want
been.
to
I mean,
change?
Jan would have loved her to have been here, as Amy would. But she did say that the hospital was, you know, it was lovely at the hospital,
Right.
and she died very peacefully.
And how did you break the death of Amy to the other residents here? Were there particular residents that knew her very well?
They asked.
How did you
They
feel?
asked.
They asked.
Because she always sat in the same chair, in the same
Yes.
lounge, and they knew,
Where is
Florence and
Amy?
everyone knew that she'd gone to hospital, and they asked, how's Amy?
Yes.
Or where is Amy?
Yeah, where's
Yeah.
Amy?
Yeah.
It's awful, because
Yes.
then, you know,
Yes.
it's really hard on the other residents as well,
Yes.
don't they?
It
Well,
sounds as
telling
though
to
she
it,
was
like-
quite a lady and that
Oh,
she liked the men.
Oh, she did.
Very formidable
She's
character.
a lovely lady.
That's wonderful. Okay, I just want to say thank you very much indeed for this time, and we'll finish the video there. It's been really great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.